Good day, everyone. I'm JD Posupil. The topic that I present is about the impact of climate change in agricultural food supply. Despite technological advances such as improved varieties, genetically modified organisms, and irrigation systems, climate is still a key factor in agricultural productivity, as well as soil properties and natural communities. The effect of climate on agriculture is related to variabilities in local climate rather than in global climate pattern. The Earth's average surface temperature will increase around 33 degrees Celsius between 2019 and 2090. Consequently, it making assessment agronomists much considered its local area. Climate change and agricultural are interrelated processes, both of which take place on a global scale, which the adverse effect in climate change affecting agriculture both directly and indirectly. This can make place through change in average temperature, rainfall, and climate extreme. Example is heat waves, change in pest and disease, change in atmospheric carbon dioxide and ground level zone concentration, change in nutritional quality of some foods, and change in sea level. What is climate change? How does it affect agricultural food supply? Climate change is change in the pattern of weather and related change in ocean, land surface, and ice sheet, occurring over time scale of decades or longer. And weather is the state of atmosphere, its temperature, humidity, wind, rainfall, and so on, over hours or week. So this figure is the simple illustration of climate change and global warming. So in here figure, some some solar energy that reaches Earth in natural state get absorbed in the atmosphere and some portion leaves the Earth. And here, greenhouse gases prevent solar energy from going to space and to remain inside the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases in natural state have been exercising positive role for appropriate amount of solar energy to go into space and proper amount remain in the earth to help living organisms to maintain an optimal temperature for living organisms to live. Unfortunately, the Earth's climate is increasing as excessive amount of heat is trapped inside the Earth atmosphere because human emitted too much greenhouse gases. Therefore, the cause of climate change is called the increasing greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide, due to human activity. The representative gases of greenhouse gas are carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane. Compared to the carbon dioxide, methane has 60 greater forces of holding heat energy, but the remaining time in the atmosphere is relatively short. Methane is contained in wetland, grass, and burp. Large amount of methane is released in the livestock industry. So one of the important behavior that we should take to stop climate change is to start eating more vegetable and reduce the meat diet. Nitrous oxide has 270 times greater capacity of holding heat inside the atmosphere and remain inside the air is 150 years. Nitrous oxide is emitted while fossil fuel are burned and also from nitrogenous manure. The reason why carbon dioxide is considered as the major cause of climate change when other greenhouse gases have strong energy to hold the heat and remain inside the atmosphere of quite long period of time, it because the increasing amount of emitted carbon dioxide is awfully large. Climate it refers long-term variation in the atmospheric condition of specific regions or regions. Climate change is a cause of the change in its component of climate systems such as atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, cryosphere and lithosphere, or by complicated interaction among those components. Climate change means the gradual change in climate system both by natural and artificial causes. So natural causes include the change in solar activity, volcanic eruption, seawater temperature, ice, ice, ice cap distribution, westerly waves, and atmospheric waves. So artificial causes include the carbon dioxide emission from industry, agricultural production activities, deforestation, acid rain, and destruction of ozone layer by freon gas, which global warming by the increasing of greenhouse gases. Climate change disturbs the agricultural ecosystem, resulting in the change of agricultural climatic elements such as temperature, precipitation, and sunlight, while further influencing these three sectors: arable sector, livestock sector, and hydrology sector. So impact of climate change on agricultural production are divided into primary impact and secondary impact. So primary impact refers to the change of composition of the atmosphere due to increase of greenhouse gases, which include the change of crop growth response and the change in energy and moisture balance in the farmland. Secondary impact caused by the change in agricultural climate resources affected by the primary impact, including the shift in suitable places of cultivation and physical climatic change in agricultural soil. So arable sector. Change in temperature, atmospheric carbon dioxide, and the frequency and intensity of extreme weather could have significant impact on crop yield. For any particular crops, the effect of increased temperature will depend on the crop optimal temperature for growth and reproduction. Moderate warming and more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere may help some plants grow faster. However, more severe warming, floods, and drought may reduce yield. Higher carbon dioxide level can affect crop yield. Some laboratory experiments suggest that elevated carbon dioxide level can increase plant growth. However, other factors such as changing temperature, ozone, and water nutrient constraint may counteract this potential increase in yield. For example, if temperature exceeds a crop optimal level, insufficient water and nutrients are not available, yield increase may reduce or reverse. Elevated carbon dioxide has been associated with reduced protein and nitrogen content in alfalfa and soybean plant, resulting in the loss of quality. Reduced grain and forage quality can reduce the ability of pasture and rangeland to support grazing livestock. More extreme temperature and precipitation can prevent crop from growing. Extreme events, especially floods, drought, can harm crops and reduce yield. Many weeds, pests, and fungi thrive under warmer temperature. Weather climate and increased carbon dioxide level. This could cause new problems to farmer crops previously unexposed to these species. Through rising carbon dioxide can stimulate plant growth. It also reduces the nutritional value of most food crops. Rising level of atmospheric carbon dioxide reduces the concentration of protein and essential minerals in most plant species, including wheat, soybeans, and rice. This direct effect of rising carbon dioxide on the nutritional value of crops represent a potential threat to human health. So, in livestock, climate change may increase the prevalence of parasitic and disease that affect livestock. The earlier onset of spring and warmer winter could allow some parasite and pathogen to survive more easily. In areas with increased rainfall, moisture-reliant pathogen could thrive. Potential change in veterinary practice include an increase in the use of parasiticide and other animal health treatment, are likely to be adapted to maintain livestock health to respond to climate-induced change in pests, parasites, and microbes. This could increase the risk of pesticide entering the food chain to lead to evolution of pesticide resistance with subsequent implication for the safety, distribution, and consumption of livestock and aquaculture products. Heat waves, which are projected to increase under climate change, could directly threaten livestock. Heat stress affects animals both directly and indirectly. Over time, heat stress can increase vulnerable to disease, reduce fertility, and reduce milk production. Drought may threaten pasture and feed supplies. Drought reduces the amount of quality forage available to grazing livestock for animals that rely on grain. Change in crop production due to drought can also become the problem. Increase in carbon dioxide may increase the productivity of pasture, but may also decrease their quality. Increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide can increase the productivity of plant in which livestock feeds. However, the quality of some of the forage found in pasture lands decrease with higher carbon dioxide. As a result, cattle would need to eat more to get the same nutritional benefit. So in hydrology sector, many aquatic species can find colder areas of stream and lakes or move north along the coast or in the ocean. Nevertheless, moving into new areas may put these species into competition with other species over food and other resources. Some marine disease outbreaks have been linked with changing climate. Higher water temperature and higher estuarine salinities have enabled an oyster parasite to spread further north along the Atlantic coast. Winter warming in the Arctic is contributing to salmon disease in the Bering Sea and resulting reduction of Yukon Chinook salmon. Finally, warmer temperatures have caused disease outbreak in coral, eelgrass, and abalone. Change in temperature and season can affect the timing of reproduction and migration. Many steps within an aquatic animal life cycle and controlled by the temperature and the changing of the season. For example, in the northwest, warmer water temperature may affect the life cycle of salmon and increase the likelihood of disease. Combined with other climate impacts, these effects are projected but lead to large decline of salmon population. Fisheries will be affected by the changing in water temperature that make water more hospitable to invasive species and shift the range of life cycle timing of certain fish species. So overall international impact, climate change is very likely to affect food security at the global, regional, and local level. Climate change can disrupt food availability, reduce access to food, affect food quality. For example, projected increase in temperature, change in precipitation pattern, change in extreme weather event, and reduction in water availability, and all result in reduced agricultural productivity. Increase in the frequency and severity extreme weather event can also interrupt food delivery and resulting spike in food price. And after extreme events are expected to be more frequent in the future. Increasing temperature can contribute to spoil and contamination. And that's all. Thank you for listening.